Jared here from the Heel to the Face podcast, and here on May the 22nd, 2025, it has been announced, not from the WWE, but from the city of New Orleans, that New Orleans, Louisiana, and the Superdome will no longer be hosting WrestleMania 42 in the year 2026. They announced that they will be hosting Money in the Bank in the city of New Orleans in 2026 and a WrestleMania in a future year. So, with that obviously being announced, that New Orleans will not be hosting their third WrestleMania in the last 12 years, as originally announced in April of 2025 on a SmackDown in which The Rock himself made the announcement, who will be hosting WrestleMania 42. Well, what we already know for scheduled events in 2026 is that Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is scheduled to host the Royal Rumble in 2026, and the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, is scheduled to host a two-night SummerSlam in August of 2026. So, where could WrestleMania 42 be? WWE has not made an official announcement on where it is going to be, but we can assume two things reasonably, and that's one, WWE already knows who's going to host WrestleMania 42 because, well, they wouldn't have renegotiated a deal with an already existing host city if they didn't. And two, it must have been a lucrative enough deal and bid for them to want to renegotiate with an already agreed upon city, one in which they've been to before successfully, and also already had a generated logo for the event. And when WWE fans think of lucrative and WWE, they think of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as I just announced, is already scheduled to host the Royal Rumble in 2026 in January, but could very well be hosting WrestleMania. Now, there's two options to host WrestleMania in April in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and that's one, they relocate the Royal Rumble, similar to how they just relocated WrestleMania from New Orleans so that they now host WrestleMania instead of the Rumble. Or two, in an unprecedented move, they host both the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Now, that would be an insane thing to think about. One, because they are already hosting for the very first time one of the tentpole 4 WWE events in the Royal Rumble this year, but to host the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania in the span of just 3 months in a country that has never hosted a major event like that before, one in which a lot of international travelers are expected to come in, like I said, would be unprecedented. But there are a few other options that fans are speculating. One is London. They have been in talks to host WrestleMania and big events for many years now. And in the last couple of years, we've seen WWE expand to Europe for a lot of major events like Money in the Bank. And they just did the big Europe tour this past March where they went to London and Scotland and Germany and all these other places. So WWE now goes to Europe almost as regularly as they go to the United States, with a few more European shows scheduled for the rest of this year, including a PLE in Paris. So Wembley Stadium, London, or a major stadium in London is definitely on the table as a potential host. Some others have reported, including NOLA.com, which is one of the news sources that reported this, that New Orleans was no longer going to host WrestleMania 42, stated that they believe it has already been scheduled that WrestleMania 42 will be held in Las Vegas, the same city that hosted WrestleMania 41, so that Las Vegas will host back-to-back WrestleManias. I know WWE obviously was very happy with Las Vegas hosting WrestleMania. It is a city just like New Orleans that could essentially host this event every single year. It has the capability to do so, from the venues to the tourism. It is a city in the United States, or even, globally, that is a destination city that could see something like WrestleMania return, not just for back-to-back years, but for the foreseeable future, even based on the nature of Las Vegas, Nevada. And some other options that are out there. Chicago, they have an outdoor stadium. They've never hosted an outdoor WrestleMania before. They've always been at the Allstate Arena, but potentially maybe WWE could go outdoors to Chicago, a place they haven't been in a while since they've gone exclusively to stadiums since the last WrestleMania in Chicago, and it would be cold, but they've done a few cold weather WrestleManias since, including 2 in New York City. and one in Philadelphia. There's other options on the table, such as Nashville and Miami, but those are options that are just on the table every single year anyways, so they're not anything that is sticking out to be any different when it comes to why WWE would want to back out of New Orleans to go to one of those cities. So I would put my money on one of three places, and that is either somewhere in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, most likely Riyadh, the major city in Saudi Arabia, a little bit bigger than Jeddah, Las Vegas, Nevada, to host it for a second straight year, or London in England. What are your ideas and predictions where you think WrestleMania 42 will be in 2026? Leave a comment below or follow us on social media at Heel to the Face as we wait where the granddaddy of them all, the spectacle of sports entertainment in 2026, will emanate from.